You mentioned winning a lot of different ways a couple times now. Last year, you talked a lot about pitching old, playing old. Is that kind of the theme for this year? Winning in different ways?
I don't know. We just want to play good baseball, and I thought we played good baseball. We played an errorless game. We gave up some runs, but we got a lot more runs. And so, for me, it's we need to get Ryan back on track. At some point, we're going to need Ryan. That's an obvious takeaway. Grayson pitched well. Jackson Jordan came in and was fantastic again. That's his second outing of the year and his second straight outing, at least in games, live games where he's been outstanding. He's been really good in practice as well. So it was good to see Jackson and Grayson. And it's unfortunate. We got to get Ryan going again.
Obviously, 2 Grand Slams. First, what did you see from his offensive approach? And then have you been in a game where someone's hit 2 Grand Slams before?
Boy, I don't know. Probably, I've been in a lot of games. I can't remember it, but it was great because Dom, he had a thing that he was dinged up on a while back, and he came back and he was still kind of fighting through it a little bit a week ago. He was taking his walks, but he wasn't really. You could just tell that he wasn't in his legs yet. He wasn't really seeing the ball the way, or at least hitting the ball the way he wanted to. He was seeing the ball good, and then we saw this week in practice he was making some really big strides. And so, 2 Grand Slams for a guy like Dom, I'm not surprised because of what we've been seeing in practice.
Featherston, to go back to him, what do you think is kind of his problems right now? Touched up last
Well,
week, touched up today.
He's behind in the count, and he's not locating his pitches. And it's about as simple as that. When you're behind in the count, you're not locating your pitches. Guys can get turned into a 3 or 4 hole hitter, even if they're not a 3 or 4 hole hitter, pretty quickly.
7 hit by pitches tonight. Guys a little bruised up. Feeling okay?
Oh, 7 hit by pitches is great. Yeah, just getting dosed and taking your hit by pitches instead of jumping out of the way. Burke Mabius took a hit by pitch today. Might be the first one in his career. So it was really exciting to see Burke be able to stand in there and get hit by a pitch.
On top of those errors, they were also missing some pop flies in the field with the sun and everything. How does that impact your guys? Is that confident boost or?
Yeah, good question. It's just another base runner, right? And a couple of them are tricky. This park, it's a beautiful park, and it can be tough on some of the things, when the shadows come into play and stuff like that. But just another base runner, another opportunity. So it's good.
Some balls finally starting to fall for Ryan at the plate. Was that kind of a sigh of relief for him when he came back in the dugout after those, or
I don't know. He's been having some really good at-bats, and he hadn't had a whole lot to show for it. His on-base percentage is pretty good, and he's been taking his walks and executing and, getting RBI ground ball outs, team at-bats that don't count on the stat sheet other than an RBI. But very unselfish play. He's been playing nice defense, and so for him, especially the 2-strike single that went, or 2-strike double that went in the right center field gap, it was just a beautiful swing. I was happy for him.
Burke had 4 hits today, but specifically when we talk about the backside double off the left field wall.
Yeah.
How impressive is that for anybody to do, and then be a true freshman doing that against 91, 92?
He's been doing it, right? So knock on wood, he continues to do it. We've seen that out of him. He's a guy that's, he's been on the national circuit now since, I don't even know, since probably he was a kid. He's played in a lot of big games, and he's a high-profile recruit, and we're seeing why.
How was it as the pitching coach today?
Well, I didn't throw a shutout. I didn't throw any pitches, and I definitely didn't call a shutout today. And so, I need to get a lot better. Put it that way.
When was the last time you had those responsibilities?
For the time when I was at Purdue in Arizona.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And then Hawk, do you think he'll
parts of those 2 times? Yeah.
Do you think he'll come back this weekend, or is this kind of what expect Hawk to be here?
Well, he and his wife Amy just had a wonderful child, Presley, that we're excited for him, and we're thrilled that the Hawks are. He needs to take as much time as he needs to take to enjoy the time when a newborn's born. I think it's just a gift from God, and I absolutely want him and his wife to enjoy these hours right after they have their child. I thought those were some of the most special times in my life with my wife, and when she had our 2 girls, and so I'm thrilled that he gets a chance to spend the time with his wife, and he can take as much time as he needs as far as I care, but we miss him, that's for sure.
Another new defensive alignment in the outfield today. Do you like what you see from Anson and Jeff getting back out there?
Well, it's great to have Jeff back out there. It's great to have Maddox Maloney back out there. So just the more healthy bodies we can get. I think fans are going to really like a kid named Parker Stinson. He hadn't even played for us yet this year, and he was our best hitter for the fall and the spring. He's really, really good, and I'm hoping that he can get healthy to where fans can see him. He's a special talent.
Anything on Mason? Didn't see him in the dugout. He didn't play today.
He was just unavailable today, yeah.
Do you expect him back at any point this weekend?
I would imagine so, yeah. Absolutely.
How's it feel as a manager to have those loud hits, 2 grand slams, but also those pretty sweet textbook bunts?
Yeah, that was something we hadn't done, right? We hadn't been super clean with our execution, and I thought today was probably our cleanest day of execution, and so it's kind of 2 games in a row. I felt like on Sunday when we met out here, on Sunday that was a real step in the right direction for us from an execution and laying off pitches standpoint, and then today was 2nd day in a row. I feel like we did that.
Even in a quiet day, what's it like to have Maddox back?
Presence, awesome. He's a settling force, right? Big, strong kid. I think he got that last one pretty good too, and their center fielder made a nice play on it. But he's just a good player. You know, I mean, there was a scout that grabbed me this morning and said that he just walks around and the aura around him looks like a major leaguer. And I couldn't agree with him anymore. I mean, he's that kind of kid, and just having him or Jeffrey or any of these guys when they come back, I mean, there's a lot of really good players here we're blessed to coach.
What's going to be the main challenge tomorrow, kind of silencing the Columbia offense?
Well, I mean, they're good, right? I mean, they've been in regionals and won their league 6 years in a row, and they're picked to finish first again in their league. And I mean, there's just a bunch of old dudes playing over there. I mean, you know, they take old at bats. Like anything else, you can get guys out that are good, but you need to make good pitches. And when we did that, we got them out. And when we didn't make good pitches, we didn't get them out. But these guys are super competitive. We knew that. That's why we scheduled them. And so we're going to just need to get some good rest and hydrate and get back on the field tomorrow, hopefully with our best day and our best energy. And we get 2. We get to be here for a while tomorrow, which is great.
With Grayson.
Last question.
In that 6th inning, you had 102, 103 pitches left in the minute. Is that more like just to get the left-on-left matchup there and just didn't fall through?
No, he's built up good. He really wanted that next hitter. You know, he really wanted that guy. Didn't get him, you know, but, you know, as a Friday guy, he's built up, he's strong, he can handle that. He had some low-stress pitches and low-stress innings before that. Felt really good, and he just, you know, he earned that as a Friday guy. You earned that opportunity, and he came up, you know, he lost that battle tonight. Felt like he got the guy before him on the 2-2 pitch, and it didn't work out, which was unfortunate. Didn't get the call on that thing, but, you know, you don't get every call, and that's just the way it goes. But I thought Grayson pitched well. He was competitive, and, you know, I'm excited to see, especially Jackson Jordan, his development, I think, is really, really neat.